Are there any judgments which do not do violence to the truth?
Are there any judgments which do not do violence to truth? Is that the question, sir? Are there any judgments which do not violate truth? What is judgment? You know, I used to know a man who was one of the highest judges in India. One day, he said, I am passing judgment over people every day of my life since I have come to this position. And what is judgment which I am passing on others? So the more he thought about it, the more he was convinced that he must give up his judgeship and his prominence and his way of life and retire into the woods to find out what is judgment. And he did retire, withdrew from the family, from the office, from the position, to find out what is truth and what is judgment. Are you willing to do, any of you, that? Are any of you willing to withdraw to find out what is truth and what is judgment? I'm afraid you are not. You just want verbally to find out, don't you? You want to find out verbally what is truth and what is judgment. And what is the relationship between judgment and truth? Why do you judge at all? Why do you say somebody is silly, somebody is this or somebody is that, how noble, how crooked? Why? What is the measure you have? And you say, aren't you measuring when you say all the gurus are infantile? Am I? Am I judging? Or merely observing the fact without any prejudice, without any emotion behind it? Just to observe that the ant has 4 legs is not a judgment. That the elephant has a trunk is not a judgment. It's an observation of a fact. When there is the observation of a fact without any emotional, any prejudice, any judgment according to a conclusion, then that judgment is merely an observation of the fact, and therefore it is truth. The fact is always the truth. The fact that one is lying, one is frightened, that is the truth. But to say that I must not be frightened, that is judgment. And when you say I must not be frightened, in that there is conflict. And therefore, from that you develop courage, which is another form of resistance to fear. So when you state a fact, which anybody can observe, they are willing to observe, then in that stating of the fact there is no judgment, but only the observation of the fact is the truth.